All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back on the backup. We are back on the backup, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so you saw what I did over there, and that's some of my best work, ladies and gentlemen. You saw what I did over there. So as you can see, ladies and gentlemen, they said that Zeus, you went too hard on the app, and I get it. But you know what? Someone has to get out here and tell the truth. Zeus. Please go ahead, ladies and gentlemen, and continue to, share this live with as many people as you can. All right, we will not be silenced. Somebody actually has to tell the truth. So I was looking forward to talking to that knucklehead. What was his name? Asler. I think his name. You know what I think it is? I think it's his name, right? With a name like that, you gotta be careful. Yeah. Please continue to share the live. So what I was doing was I was trying to get him to register and do this whole little self-deportation business. But you know what? We'll move on to the next thing, and then we'll go ahead and we'll talk. So I brought up the fact that people are, this conflict in Israel has once again restarted. And I have questions for you Trump supporters, all right? Because, this is what Donald Trump was saying leading up to where we're at right now.
Buy Gaza, and today you just said we're not going to buy Gaza.
We're not going to have to buy. We're going to have Gaza. We don't have to buy. There's nothing to buy. We will have Gaza. There's no reason to buy. There is nothing to buy. It's Gaza. It's a war-torn area. We're going to take it. We're going to hold it. We're going to cherish it. We're going to get it going eventually, where a lot of jobs are going to be created for the people in the Middle East.
Of course.
It's going to be for the people in the Middle East, but I think it can be a diamond. It could be an absolute tremendous asset for the Middle East, and you're going to have peace. It's going to bring peace in the Middle East. Gaza, the way it is right now, every 10 years you're going to have the same thing happening. I've watched it so long, all the death and destruction of Gaza. The civilization's been wiped out in Gaza. No, it's going to be a tremendous thing. It's
good morning, everyone.
It's fronting on the sea. It's going to be a great economic development job. It's going to put people to work, a lot of people to work, and those people are all going to be from the Middle East.
Just to follow up with one on that for King Abdullah.
So this is what Donald Trump was talking about, ladies and gentlemen, before, he went and, they restarted the conflict in Gaza. So now that we've taken that basically off the chessboard, right? Trump supporters, you can't go around and say that there were no wars now under Donald Trump. Look at what's happening in this great country of ours, all right? Let's see, ladies and gentlemen. Well, guess what? It said that I won my appeal on the backup app. All right. Now, but you know what? We're here. Right? I won my appeal. Congratulations, Big Zeus. I'll be back on it tomorrow. All right. Or actually, maybe later today while I'm out and about in traffic. The thing is, when they do that, when they attack me like that, they attack you. And what that means is, how they say the Democrats are weak and that, we're not able to, really stand up. It's proof that we're actually very, very strong, because the truth of the matter is this. If the best of these folks in the country heard what we were talking about, they would wake up and they would do exactly what we're doing. They would resist this evil, demonic force that is trying to take over our great country. You Trump supporters, honestly, you are the minority. To be quite honest, you're the minority, and you know it. There is not one Trump supporter out there, as far as we're concerned, that has been able to successfully get up and actually say, this is how Donald Trump is helping Americans every single day. All right? MAGA girl, are you a Trump supporter, seriously? See, this is what I mean, MAGA girl. If you don't mind, we don't got all morning. I got an abbreviated schedule, so it'd be very nice of you to just get up here and articulate. W. Tara in the chat. Thank you, Tiffany, for the people for sharing this live. Any Trump supporters out there? Let's see. Put a 1 in the chat if you're a Trump supporter. Well, they took me down on the previous app, but, I won the appeal. All right. And, I'll be back on it tomorrow. Okay, there we go. Ann, thank you. Come on up here, Ann. You said you're a Trump supporter. Put a 1 in the chat. I'll bring you right on up here, and we can have an honest conversation real quickly if you don't mind. I don't need you to take all morning to talk to me, because I'm a very busy person too. But I just got a couple of questions to ask you. All right, Ann, I brought you up here, and I sent you a guest request. What's the issue? Can you accept the guest request, Ann? All right, all right. Well, listen, and maybe you accidentally put a 1 in the chat because who knows? Sometimes people get things confused. You know what I'll do though, while we're waiting, is I'll bring up my main account so that folks can know that I got these two accounts because I get it. Not a lot of people know. Hold on a quick second. All right, that was a good idea. That was a good idea. Let's see. There we go. All right. So the people who follow Big Zeus on that account can know that I'm actually over here. This is my backup account. All right. All
All
right.
right.
So oops, you hear the echo. Yes, ladies and gentlemen. So what I got going on right now is, that's Big Zeus right there, the main account. And I'm on my backup. If you are a Trump supporter, please put a 1 in the chat and I'll bring you right on up here. We do not have all morning, ladies and gentlemen. This won't take long. Yeah, Zeus is the truth, all right? Yeah, Zeus is winning. Yeah. You know what they did to this account, all right? They're mad because that account cooks them every morning. There's so much truth going on, and they do not know what to do. I had one Trump supporter. He knows who he is. Zeus, I gotta study you. I don't understand how you continue to allow the media to manipulate you. And I had to, there's really nothing to study. It's like I said yesterday. A lot of people know the same thing that I know, and if you know better, you do better. Put a 1 in the chat if you're a Trump supporter, and I'll bring you right on up here. Where are all the Trump supporters at? The ones that are sitting here going, oh, well, we think this country is being ran real great. I see you, Q Dog. Yeah, we are still here. It's due to a lack of intelligence. Okay, I see some Trump supporter. Gen X, you're a Trump supporter? Come on up here real quick if you don't mind. This won't take long. This won't take long at all. Trust me, I've been doing this for a while. All right. Let's see who we have. Or send me a guest request. Send Big Zeus a guest request, and I will bring you right on up here, ladies and gentlemen. This won't take long. All right. W in the chat for chocolate. I see you, Q Dog. Well, I guess they do not want to talk. So what we'll do is I'll bring up my brother Q Dog. All right, and we'll see if they're out there. Good morning, Q Dog. How are you doing, bro?
Hey, good morning, brother. How you doing today?
I'm all right. Another day in the kingdom, tending to the affairs as usual.
It's amazing how much hate they try to throw our way, and we still dodge it like it ain't even coming towards us.
That part.
Wanted to bring up a topic yesterday, how much they want to continue to talk about deportation and whatnot, and it's just really amazing how they pick and choose who Trump wants to deport and who they want to leave to the side and don't mess with. There's a lot of how should I use this really TikTok friendly? There's a lot of groups out there. And you know what I'm talking about when we talk about Italians,
Yeah.
and the families,
Yeah.
and so forth, that are not from the U.S. But he ain't gonna mess with them because
Right.
they have a lot of ties with the original people that he had got in bed with a long time ago
Right.
with the Russians.
Right.
When it started talking about messing with the money, he gonna leave them alone. But he wants to go down to the lower hanging fruit and deport all these people that really don't have a lot of power, so to speak, to push that green light, so to speak.
Yeah. I know what
You know
you're
exactly
talking
where
about.
I'm going with that.
Yeah.
But they come up here and they pick and choose who they want to terrorize and so forth. Just like that gentleman yesterday, he wants to talk about everybody except for the original terrorists that came across the Atlantic, or bringing over slave ships and whatnot. He wants to talk about everybody except for the triple Ks that are
Yeah.
terrorist groups, the Snazis that came into my city, thinking that they running stuff.
Yeah.
They don't want to talk about that. They want to talk about any and everybody else that has to do with color. And it's really ironic how they pick and choose who they want to attack.
You know what I'm noticing, especially because these folks, that are Trump supporters, especially the ones that have the complexion for the protection, if you know what I mean. They feel so comfortable breaking the law right now, don't they? They don't want to outright come out and say what's really happening in this country, which is they're basically racially profiling people that they feel are a threat to their survival, and they're saying get on out of here, right? But they'll try to get you buried in these conversations about whether or not they broke the law, right? And this is the game that's being played. We know what it is. WQ dog. Come on, bro. We know what it is.
Exactly what it is. They don't talk about the motorcycle group, the Hell's Angels. None of them. They don't want to bother them. Let them keep doing what they doing. But if it's anything other than the opposite side of their skin tone, they
Right.
want to come at you with all full-fledged power. We gonna push you out. We gonna take you out of the equation. Folks. You know, it's ironic how they attack.
What's so funny about skin tone, Gordon? What's so funny about skin tone? Did we tell the joke?
I'm gonna tell you this, Gordon. It's amazing how and Zeus has a lot of I would say courage to go into these lives solo dolo. I see my brother on a platform getting attacked. I'm coming in. Best believe I'm coming in.
Thank you, brother.
They try to keep me out. It was one live that we were in, bro, and they kept kicking me out. Every time I requested them, kicking me out because they knew what was coming. And
yeah, they know it's truth. It's truth you're bringing.
Yeah, Snuggles was in that live that particular day. And as soon as I asked the question, what is it about you when we talking about white tea supremacy and racism? Oh, we don't want to talk about it. We don't want to. Why is that your kryptonite? Why can't you just answer the question?
Yeah.
They want to drop you out as soon as that hits because we already know that's a trigger point for them. You know what it is.
Yeah.
You don't want to talk about it because you don't want to get exposed for what you do. Point blank, period.
What do you think about these? I was talking about it earlier. These so-called black folks. I gotta keep it clean on TikTok. Who are running around on this app, barricading themselves alongside these folks who are, believe in the triple K ideology, and just using these nasty words. You and I know what those are because they come from, we know what they are, and they use it amongst these people like it's some sort of term of endearment. What do you say to these black folks that are out here doing that, Q Dog? Because something's not quite right with them.
Oh, well, it hasn't been right for a long time. See, we call those type of folks pretenders. When they get into a situation where they think that massa's gonna attack them, oh man, I better tell on this slave. He trying to run off the plantation. He trying to escape.
That part.
Oh, you gonna get us all. You gonna get us all whipping. And they want to be accepted so bad, but let me tell you something.
Preach to them.
Soon as you step yourself into one of their little meetings, their private meetings, guess what? They're gonna look at you like the plague.
Yep.
And you think that you best friends with them because you voted with for this same fool that's in office.
Yeah.
They're gonna look at you just the same same way they look at us. You ain't no different. You think you're different, but
Thank
you're
you.
not.
Yeah.
They're scared, bro.
They are. They scared because they've dug in themselves into a ditch, and I'm not going to go dig them out of it because they're so deep in it, right? They got to do the work. There's no shortcut to doing the work, and you now have to see these folks, ladies and gentlemen. It's like if you were to go to it's equivalent as far as I'm concerned to go into a zoo. No disrespect to animals. But when I see these people in their habitat living like that, I go, wow, they captured one and got it all behaving.
I just don't get it, brother. Their mentality is, well, if I side with Massa, he won't lash me. He won't put me out the country. He don't care about you. I don't know how much it has to take for you to get and understand that you black. You gonna always be black. You're not gonna change your color. No matter how much you think you can try to bleach your skin or do whatever to turn yourself to a white tea person. You're not.
Thank you.
You were born black. You're gonna unalive black. We were put on this earth to do two things: live and unalive.
Thank you.
And you think just because you side with them folks and you try to talk proper and whatnot, that's not going to change the perception of how they look at you.
But what if they defend Donald Trump like the best of them, though? Does that give them access to whiteness, Q Dog?
Well, we already seen that rhetoric happen in the rally.
Mm.
If they don't get it by now, they will never get it. Yeah, they were out there with the Trump supporters or whatnot. I'm talking about Blagger.
Yeah.
And guess what they did? They put you on blast on social media, getting your behind whooped. that was an example of how they think about you. Yeah, we appreciate your vote. Now get back in the corner, N. That's how they think about you.
And you gave him permission to call you an N because you were saying it with him like y'all was friends. Remember that?
Oh, he just playing. He just joking. Yeah, okay. They not joking. They dead serious. They always, anybody that has to do with white T supreme. I'm not talking about all white T folks because we got some folks that's on our side.
Allies. We call those allies.
We talk about the ones that have that deep Southern racism that they think that they fly a Confederate flag just like the American flag. That's the ones I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
That when you come around the corner, oh, they gotta go.
Mm-hmm.
They gotta go. We don't want you in our neighborhood. We don't want you in our stores. They still do it to today. Down here in the South, there's plenty of different scenarios. Alabama, Mississippi, they still deep rooted with that hatred, and it's not going to go away no matter how much you talk to them, how much you try to convince them, how much you try to coerce them to come back on this side. They're going to think, well, God told me to act this way. My parents raised me this way. This generation today, this is how they think because their parents, their grandparents, their great-grandparents thought that way. They're not going to think any other way. So no matter how much you try, how much you put on those red hats, make America great again, which originated from the Triple Ks.
Thank you.
You're not going to change their mind.
Thank you.
Whatsoever. They may smile in your face and ha kiki all in your face, but they're not going to change. You're not going to change their mind not once.
Nope.
The ones down in the chat here, Asler, he thinks he's special.
He do.
He thinks he is outside any other black or brown person.
He went to Washington D.C. and sat in the cold for Donald Trump. For Donald Trump. Just Trump, please. If you get around to me,
Asler, I don't know how much you see. This is the thing. You're not even listening to yourself. You said you're a Democratic racist. I don't think so, brother. Open your eyes. They switched the name from the N word to Democrats. What part don't you understand, man?
WQ dog.
No matter how much I can take a baseball bat and crack it upside your head 10,000 times, and you still will think the same way. Oh, I'm different. You're not different.
Asler, I don't know what else to tell you, bro. But when it's all said and done, say you end up getting locked up, bro, they're not putting you with the whites.
They said the same.
Where does Asler live? What planet are you living on? They're not going to put you. They're going to look at your color and say, I think, well, no, he does belong there. And that's not just in those situations, but it's in a lot of situations. When they pull you over, they don't think, oh, this is the guy that went to the little Trump inauguration and, voted for Trump. And let's go ahead and give him the benefit of the doubt. Okay. They're not going to do that to you, Asler, because trust me, when they hear you talk, it's a rap, bro.
I'm gonna say this so they can get a clear understanding, Zeus. See, I got frat brothers that are on the force, the police force, and I've heard numerous stories where the little groups, like I said, these Triple Ks, they're no longer walking around with their little pointed hats on. They're in police uniforms, judge uniforms. They're in the courtroom with lawyer suits on. And I can't count how many times that my frat brothers that are on the force hear them in their little corners. I can't wait to grab me up a couple ends today. How many you gonna grab? I'm telling you this because they're hearing this. And because they're on the same side as the blue, they can't really say much.
Thank you.
I gave this story last year right before the election, where a sister who was on the police force heard these folks saying the same exact thing. When a young man got pulled over, they thought because he had the same car that he was in a hit and run. They were ready to unalive this young man until she got to the stop before them. She told him, if I didn't get here before they did, you would be unalive. Because I
Thank you.
heard them talking.
You hear this, Asler?
You're not paying attention to what's going on, man. Do you not realize the information
Thank you, Jimmy.
that Trump is putting out there? Saying that if you unalive a police officer, you're immediately going to get the unalive penalty. They know black folks are going to stand up for themselves when they're pushed into the corner. Now they're putting it into a situation of putting fear to you if you do anything to the police officers. They don't talk about the police officers doing anything to you. That's the reason why he's giving them immunity. But you and your special behind keep thinking that you're different.
Tell him.
They're putting you in a situation where you have no choice but to take that behind whooping. Or worse. Get it in your head. I've been holding this for about 2 or 3 days. I appreciate you bring me up, Zeus, because I'm sick and tired of my brothers and sisters out there thinking that they're different. And I appreciate the ones that are white tee that are on our side and see what's happening to us.
Thank you.
Understand what's happening to us.
WQ, dog.
And willing to walk and talk and preach to us. Why do you think they want to put you in jail and put you back in chains if you out there marching for your freedom rights? Help me understand what your mind is set at this point in time.
Please.
Because what you're doing right now, it ain't nothing but a show right now. You making yourself look individual. Yeah, you are special. You making yourself look very special and very uneducated and very foolish.
And he's the type of person that
going to get
go for
special treatment.
I think you got it. Well, he thinks special is a compliment, Q Dog, which is amazing. It's amazing that it just shows the huge disconnect.
I like I said, Nutty comes up here, and I hope he's in the audience. I want him to come up too, if you don't mind, Zeus, because we need to talk to our brothers and sisters right about now. Because right now we are up against odds right now. Ones who have children are up against odds right now.
I told you.
See, I'm gonna tell you this. My daughter, she's 13 years old. She's a baby.
Yeah.
She's 6'2". I have to have that hard conversation with her. That you got to watch what you say, and not only that, she's on the spectrum. At first I was in denial with that, but she's on the spectrum for autism. But I still have to have that conversation with her, baby. Some things you can't do and say because they look at you as an adult figure at this point in time, based on you being 6'2". They don't care if you're 13 years old,
right?
They look at you as a grown woman, and they'll try to put you on your back by saying the wrong thing or doing the wrong thing. We've seen it time and time again. When are you going to wake up and understand that they don't look like us?
Amen.
They don't want us to be here. But we are here. We are standing tall, and we're not going to quit. I just posted a situation where a young lady, a woman, elderly woman, but I call her a young lady.
Yeah.
That Trump tried to fire. But guess what?
What happened?
In her position, she told him, you don't have any rights to fire me, and took him to court, and Trump lost.
Amen.
And she back at work as of yesterday.
You hear that?
So you either stand for something or you fall for everything.
Thank you. And that's the problem with you, especially to you blagger folks out there. Y'all didn't forgot that lesson. Like I said, somewhere along the way, y'all missed out on a few behind whoopings or something. I'm not in favor of that, but I don't know what else to say. Because when you openly side with these people who are hell-bent on destroying you, that says a lot without your mouth even saying anything. It makes absolutely no sense for roaches to be forayed. I don't care what kind of way you look at it, it adds up to self-destruction.
They don't. The other thing that they don't get is when it comes to education. See, y'all always talk about, well, why are we talking about the past? Why do we we should keep the past in the past? Y'all forget back in the day, slaves used to get whipped and worse by picking up a book, just having a book, thinking that you know how to read. Why do you think they want to take education away from us? Why do you think?
Well,
And the fact of the matter is that one brother, I forget who it was, that Dr. Lex brought up and asked him, what is this letter here? And he couldn't name what the letter was. I knew what it was. It was a Q because I learned how to do cursive writing in school. They don't teach that anymore. My daughter had to learn through me how to do cursive writing. Before then, she was writing in the 6th grade like a first grader. But I put that book in front of her and I told her, "You keep practicing, baby. You keep practicing." Now she writes her name in cursive.
Thank you.
And it looks like artwork.
Thank you.
You gotta teach these children.
And we teaching them.
Teach them the right way.
We are, brother. Now I gotta move it on, all right?
Yeah.
But ladies and gentlemen, this is my brother Q Dog with a message for you blacks for Trump. Yeah, teach your family, teach your kids, but you can't do that until you first learn. All right, and a lot of y'all are in a lot of trouble. All right, WQ Dog. Salute to you. All right, we're gonna move it along, ladies and gentlemen, because as you can see, we got a lot of people out here that are willing to go ahead and speak on it. All right. Let me bring up the political novice. Good morning, W. Marissa. Found me. Make sure this is my backup account, by the way.
How y'all doing today?
Good morning. We're just processing a lot of stuff. But what do you got for us, if you don't
I,
mind?
s- I see Asler followed us into this live after they tried to attack your other one,
Now, why do you
and
think
he
that is?
because he's a fan and
Mm.
he understands that he's not doing right. And I think we're taking the wrong approach with people like Asler. I think
Mm.
with people like Asler, we might have to pray for them. You understand? I think they might be
Oh,
under some form of spiritual warfare. You understand what I'm trying to say?
go ahead, speak on it.
I don't think people like Asler needs that or tough love. Maybe he's gotten enough of that. Maybe he didn't get enough of that nurturing spirit from
Thank you.
maybe his home. Generational curses are real. Generational roadblocks are real. You understand? And some people don't understand that when from the time they were conceived, if they were conceived in hate, if they were conceived in ignorance, that's how they lived their life. You understand? So I think
Amen.
I think people like Asla and more so prayers. You know, he's under
Okay.
spiritual warfare
Okay.
because I found it hard to, and I day in and day out, I find it hard to listen to people like Asla get on here and try to defend the antics of 47, right?
Correct.
And then say that he might be at risk of deportation or he's running from deportation. So
Correct.
now I have to ask, how in the entire world did you vote if you're at risk or if you're running from deportation?
Yeah.
Because if you're a US citizen, you can't be deported. But you have to be a US citizen to vote. So
Yeah.
I think Asler is living in some form of delusion, right? And
Amen.
with things like that, it isn't necessarily that verbal pounding that we need to give them. It's
Mm.
those warm, nurturing words of even if you don't love yourself, Jesus loves you, right?
Hey.
Trump, unfortunately, 47 is not your Messiah. 47 is not your prophet that you need to be following. If you do follow the Bible, it does say that in the times of the end, false prophets will arise.
Yeah.
Right? So
Yeah.
Asler, I just want to let you know, like, you know, we created a little TikTok group chat. And if you want to be added to it, come on, because we
Oh, okay.
pray. We
Okay.
share spiritual warfare, Bible verses. We pray because right now the only thing, Zeus, that we can really extend to people is prayer. MAGA is not gonna give, you know, keep it clean, keep it clean.
Yeah.
MAGA don't care about themselves, so we're not going to expect for MAGA to care about us, right?
Mm.
They didn't educate themselves, so we know they're not going to educate their future generations,
Amen.
right? So with things like that, all we have to do is really pray at this point in time because, you know, I serve a faithful God and I
Amen.
feel like all empires, especially the great ones, Roman, Mayan, Aztec, all of them have fallen.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, if we're going to take a spiritual approach, I think 47 had to be elected so that
Mm.
America can finally go through the Make America Great Awakening period. I
Yep.
think that's what 47 is here to do because now
Ooh.
we're talking about you're democratically racist or whatever, and like you just said, Democrat is the new N word, and they're throwing out Democrat N word and wetbacks and everything else. Like it's Skittles on this here TikTok platform. You
Yep.
get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
So with people like Afla, if you're still listening, homie, I just want to extend a prayer to you and
Hmm.
extend this because I know you're probably somewhere that Amazon does ship to. There's a book for $2.99. And it's
Okay.
called Spiritual Warfare, Asla. And it got prayers against spiritual
Yeah.
warfare. And I think that's
Yeah.
what you need to do. Leave the politics alone. Go pick up a
Thank
Bible. Go
you.
pick up a prayer book and
Thank you.
repent and break the generational curses that was
Cur-
probably extended to you before you were even thought about and conceived. Break
Thank
it
you.
from back there because the
Thank you.
hatred that runs deep in you, Asla, that hatred is it's deep. And we're not gonna be able to get it out, sweetheart.
We
You're gonna
can't.
have to do that. You have to
Mm-hmm.
look at the man in the mirror and accept the
Ooh.
fact that, baby, you are brown. You will always be brown. You could drink the bleach or bathe in the bleach, and you will never be the tone of white that they are looking for. Okay,
Amen.
Asla? All right.
Hey, I gotta say it. Your approach is way better than what I'm doing. All right, because you're right. This is something that just a live like this won't be able to address. This is a matter of his heart. His heart is
Yes.
wrong. His heart is on the wrong
We can't
side.
cleanse their hearts, Zeus. We can educate them. We can educate them. I hop on here and I receive the education. But what
Mm,
I realized is, and this is going from your life to other people's lives, we've been educating them since before the election period, and they still turn around and say, "I don't know," or "I didn't know," or "We didn't know," or "How did you know that?" and "I didn't." They weren't listening to that. So
they,
maybe if we take a different approach, because when you have to parent, the adults of America, you
correct.
gotta you gotta take it back. Some people are kinetic learners, some people are audio learners, some people are visionary learners. Maybe we
Correct.
need to switch our approach. Maybe we
Okay.
need to
I
nurture
like
them a
that. I
little
like
bit.
that. I like that a lot.
You
All right.
know?
Yeah, because it's like we're in the dojo and we're using so many different styles to make sure we win at the end of the day, right? And I get that, and that's sometimes necessary because if you only have one style, then that limits you. You know what I mean? That limits you quite a bit
Of
because what are
course.
you going to do when someone brings a style that you've never studied before? You're going to get beat up, right? We've seen it with Bruce Lee. That's why he did the whole Jeet Kune Do thing, right? So I get it.
Of course.
Thank you so much.
But you know what they tell us too, Zeus? Because I just saw somebody in the comments say Democrats run from the truth. They're emotional
Who
creatures.
said that?
Somebody just said that in the chat. I don't know what who I really don't too much care. Somebody said it, but you will see more crash outs from MAGA than you will ever see from a Democrat. And you want to know when the crash outs occur? When they
What?
can no longer hide behind out of sight, out of mind because it's in your face.
Mm.
That's what MAGA runs on. MAGA runs up if it's not in their face, out of sight, out of mind, and it is what it is. Until
Yeah.
you put it in their face and then you crash out, then they crash out, and then we're all type of hard ERs and all type of other stuff. Why? Because their emotions got in the way because they no longer have anything of substance in their minds, in their brains. They can't complete a complete thought to
Stop.
save their life, right?
Amen. Amen.
And now they have to resort to crashing out and insulting in a way to intimidate you. But
Mm.
see, the difference between us and them is we've always been um we've always been on the receiving end of the stick as far as intimidation tactics are concerned. So
Correct.
we no longer care about their intimidation tactics. We don't care about their white hoods and their militia and all that extra. We don't care about that anymore. But you want
Mm.
to know why we have them shaking in their boots? Because
Why
our
is that?
brains are stimulated. Because our brain we are privy to more than our ancestors were, and even without what we have today, our
Yeah.
ancestors still tore their boots and
Mm.
they're scared because not only do we have the faith and the willpower from our ancestors, but we also have the education of the 20th century, and they are 21st century and they are shaking in their boots. That's what the
Amen.
problem is.
Amen. You on fire, all right? Political novice, ladies and gentlemen. W political novice right there. If you want to talk about putting their foot on the gas and just going, that's what you just saw. Because not one lie was told. Not one. Everything she said was spot on and true. All right. And I appreciate that. All right. Now I got to move it on, my good friend. Now, we might have to bring you back up here because I noticed as you were, delivering that truth, Asler was he was having an outer body experience in the comment section. All right, and so we'll see how that goes. But just if I need you, please be there. All right, I might have
Oh,
to
Zeus,
request.
I'm here, and I got my Bible and I got my prayer book handy for him, and I think I got something highlighted that he might want to hear. So just
Okay.
bring me on up if he start
Okay.
crashing out in the
All right. All
comments.
right. All right. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's give political novice another round of applause. W's in the chat for her. All right. Yeah. All right. And so we're gonna go. We're gonna see now. Asler said he requested up, and he tried to do it last time, and then this is where we went wrong. I've hit Asler with so much. We've hit her with so many different styles. This might actually get. This might work today. This might work today.
Good morning, man.
Good morning. So I started the live off, and I was doing the style that I do, but political novice. She's saying maybe it's prayer that's needed. Is it sinking in between what we've all said, what the real underlying issue is? Is it sinking in yet? Is my concern.
Man, that she was beautiful, man. Thank you very much for the praying and everything. That's the team, man. That's why I vote for Donald Trump because I'm Christian myself. So my root from Christianity coming from Adventist, So that was beautiful. She talking about God because that's exactly what we need.
But what do you think her point was? And you heard me speak. You've heard Q Dog
It's
speak.
just,
What do you think we're trying to say to you? Because it's clear that you weren't born in the United States, right?
Venezuela. Yeah, Venezuela. That's my country.
And how old were you when you got here?
22.
So you were 22. So you were removed from the American experience for 22 years of your life, the first 22 years. Do you think there's a chance you may have missed out on a lot of these critical lessons that we're talking about?
Well, that was the whole point, man. Before Trump, I didn't care about my own politics country. I didn't care about American countries. I like, Clinton presidency. I got money back from his on taxes. So I like Clinton. That was it.
But
Besides
remember
that,
my question. Did you catch my question? Because what I'm trying to do is a different approach because you need prayer. And when I find that there are people who need prayer, I feel bad beating up on them. So I'm really coming at this from an angle of seriousness. I'm
no,
concerned.
no, me too. That's what I'm
For
saying.
22
Let's be
years,
about
you
talking
were
about
not
prayer.
for 22 years, from what I understand, you were not in this country. So this means, from my perspective, that you present yourself as a black person because if you didn't open your mouth and speak, I would look at you and I would say, "Oh, this is
I
another
am.
black." Yeah, okay. So you missed out on 22 years of being black in America, didn't you?
That's true. Yeah. Well, I was black in Venezuela, and I can tell you,
That's
being
not
black in
that's
Venezuela is a
not the
part.
same thing. That's not the same thing. So, with that being said, don't you think it's obvious that you got a lot of blind spots?
But let me tell you this, man. In my country, I would say 75% they are like white people. So that's mean they racist. They got a lot of
So,
racist people there.
okay. So, when
So
you're
I
in
know what you're talking about,
no, no,
man.
no, 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 no. Because here's the thing: like, have you've gone to college, right? And you've taken math classes, right?
Yes.
One of the amazing things about taking a math class that I loved as compared to like another class like English or maybe even history is you cannot lie when the question or they say solve this equation. There's only one answer.
Yeah, that's true.
You can dance around it, but if we get to the place where you have to give me an answer, we'll be able to look at it, and then we also can check your work and say, okay, you got it right or you got it wrong. And if you do your work, we'll show you where you got it wrong. So when I'm asking you clear questions, I think like that. I really do. People don't understand this, and this is why I'm so hard on things, especially when we're talking about facts, because I understand that in a lot of the situations that matter, being accurate is very, very important. So if I asked you a question, did you miss out on 22 years in this country growing up as a black person? The correct answer is yeah, you missed out on that. You can fill in the gap with your imagination and try to say, well, I was in Venezuela and those people, but that's a completely different set of variables, right?
Well, let me tell you this. You're trying to say because I am born in America and I wasn't here for my first 20 years of my life. That means I don't have a say so on this country?
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying you have to acknowledge you have a lot of blind spots.
Like what, for example? Give me one
What
example.
Well, did you hear what the political novice was mentioning and bringing up? Did you hear what Q Dog was talking about? Did you hear what I've been saying? Right?
Kudo is a racist, man. This dude is a racist. Don't talk to me about this guy. I don't like him. He's racist, 100%. He don't like his own black people.
That's not even true.
That's the way I see it.
And again, this is why prayer. This is why because I'm trying to really be here and understand what's going on now because you're looking at it and you're perceiving Q Dog as racist.
Yeah, because he's talking about black people like he don't care about people. I mean, we all
I
son of
didn't.
God, like white people, Indian people, Chinese people, we are the same people. Why he gotta talk about all the time being black? I don't care about being black. I care about other people, you know?
Don't you think you should care about black people too?
That's what I mean. Everybody, you know,
Okay, okay,
my
okay.
ex-wife, she's Mexican. You know that already. My two sons there had Mexican. What I have to be worried about talking about black people all the time? We are
Well,
all
because
son of God, you know?
would you consider yourself a black person?
Yeah, I'm black, 100%.
Okay. Do you talk to your children about issues that are tied to the black community at all, or you
Yes,
just say
sir.
that?
Yes,
Give
sir.
me an example. Give me an example.
I can give you a lot of example. For
What
example,
do you say to your children that are black?
yeah. For example, at the school, my daughter, she was thinking she was white because her friends, right?
Mm.
And my wife, like I told you, she's Mexican. So Mexican, basically, most they are Indians. Okay, I'm black plus Indian.
There's a lot of information that comes out that a lot of the people in the
Okay,
Hispanic
okay. Let me give
community,
you the point.
it turns out if they do a DNA test, they tend to have some African blood in them. So I'm going to put an asterisk next to that, but
All
please
right.
continue.
Okay. All right.
So
So,
you're black and the children are black. Please continue.
well, they're like I say, they're mixed, right?
They're
They're mixed
black,
between.
bro. So
I
stop
say
the
mixed.
games. Stop the games, bro.
So
They
you
black.
saying now? So now you saying Mexican are black?
I'm saying you're black. Your kids is black. Relax. Why is
No,
that
I'm
so hard for you?
relaxed. I mean, I'm
Why is
relaxed.
this
I
so
mean,
hard for
I'm
you
not
to
gonna argue
understand?
about facts. They are Mexican plus black. So, being that say, my daughter she was thinking she was white, right? So I told her, "Hey, what are you talking about? You white?" So she said, "Oh, because I'm white, because my skin." I go like, "You had blood from black people. You have blood from Mexican people. So you're not supposed to describe like white because you are a mix, all right?" So that way, I let them know where we're coming from black people and Indian people, which are Mexican. So that's the point I want to make. We gotta be clear, you know. They're a mix. I'm black 100%. Okay.
You told your daughter that, so you have a confused parent teaching their child some more
Oh my God.
confusion. I mean, that's how I see it. That's how I
Okay,
see it
I respect
because
your opinion.
this is
That's
why
why I follow you because I know you're gonna be MAGA one of these days.
you know what I'm going to do because this is we have an abbreviated schedule this morning. First of all,
Oh, it's arriving.
I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to bring up Dr. Lex. Ladies and gentlemen, you know what this show has definitely gotten to a place where this is a crisis hotline right now. All right. Good
So
morning,
why you
Doctor.
bring all these racist people here, man?
But you
Okay, so
said you like me, Aslan.
Oh no,
This
no,
this has nothing to do with race here
I'm
at
talking
all.
I'm talking about the
I
doctor. I'm
have a
talking about the
short
doctor.
schedule. I have a short schedule, but you know these are people that I trust that are listening to this discussion, and we got to get through this together. All right, so just buckle up. Dr. Lex, I'm going to start with you. Hello, Kabira. How are you?
good morning. Good morning.
Dr. Lex, would you like to help him understand the blind spots that I'm trying to get him to see?
Okay, so number one, your people are from Venezuela, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you do understand that the reason that you're black in Venezuela is because of the Atlantic slave trade too, correct?
Yes, sir.
As a matter of fact, it was a lot. It was worse because the average age of unaliving for someone working on a sugar plantation was 25 years old. Okay,
You
so
hear
let's.
that, right, Seals? So
Okay,
he
so
know
okay,
we coming from
ask
racist
Asler.
people.
Asler, okay, so but what I don't understand is how did you lose track of our diaspora?
I didn't look that. That's what I'm trying to tell him. Like we
But
got
okay, so
racism in my country, we got racism in America, so we gotta stop this. You know how
okay,
we
so
stop this?
the thing is
Everybody's equal. Everybody's equal. Like,
Asler, the thing is we are not the ones committing racism because we don't have the power of the system to control those people that created literally created the word between the 13th and 15th century. That was the Portuguese. You know who's next door to the Portuguese? Let's see. That
Spain,
would be Spain. What language do you speak? Uh,
Spanish.
why is it if you're in South America and you're indigenous and they have their own languages, do you speak Spanish now?
Well, I speak English because I told Zeus I came to America to learn
No, no,
English.
no. I said Spanish. I said if you're indigenous to South America and you speak Spanish now, and Spanish came from Spain, why do you
Right.
speak Spanish? Because of colonization, correct?
That's correct,
Okay,
100%.
so no, let's move backwards about 30,000 years. Okay, I'm going to take you back a little bit. Okay, well, during the Pacific crossing, which came across the Bering Strait and came around from Australia and the Philippine Islands and all that, they came over here. They populated North and South America, correct?
Yes.
Before that, they came from out of the Gulf of Eden in sub-Saharan Africa. That's the reason. As a matter of fact, Asler, if you do a DNA test, I would say you'll have as much as 50 to 60% sub-Saharan African in your DNA.
100%. I'm proud to be
Okay, okay,
African.
so if you have children and you have children with a woman from Mexico,
Mexico.
okay, and considering that she has African DNA also from
That
the
part.
Pacific crossing, your kids are black.
This is
Well,
the issue, Asler. I mean, why was this so hard for you to understand?
what part? I mean, all I'm saying that they skinny, they light skinny.
But see,
That's
that's the thing. See, here's the issue. There were two tiers of colonization. Okay, from the English and the king of England and all that, they came to the United States. The Spanish and the Portuguese, they went down into South America. That's the reason the Aztecs and those people, actually the Aztecs got wiped out by lead in the water, but they were looking for gold. Come hell or high water, gold. Okay, case in point, I can reach right here and I have Christopher Columbus's ship logs, right? You know Columbus. He was paid by the king, the Queen of Spain, I think, to come
right.
come over here. Okay,
Yeah.
so listen to this, Asler. Okay, they brought us parrots and balls of cotton and spears
Mm.
and many other things, which they exchanged for the glass beads and hawksbills. They
The
willingly
Indians.
traded everything they owned. They were well built with good bodies and handsome features. They do not bear arms and do not know them, for I showed them a sword, and they took it by the edge and cut themselves out of ignorance. They have
Mm.
no iron. Their spears are made of cane. They would make fine servants. With 50 men, we could subjugate them all and make them do whatever we want. That's
That's what
Christopher
they did.
Columbus. Okay, so the thing is you're operating off of a European ideology of colonization by voting for people that absolutely hate you or aligning yourself with them. And another thing is you have another negative aspect going on with that being you're Venezuelan. Because if you get pulled over right now and they look at your nationality origin is going to be Venezuelan, you're going to get detained.
Let
And
me
you
let
don't
me give you
understand that.
let me give you this
Thank you,
example.
Dr. Lex. Dr. Lex. All right.
Let
Now what we just did was give you a good crash course, basically to let you know,
me give you. No,
brother,
it was
you're
good.
black.
He
You're
was he
black.
was he was
So
right in most of the sense.
let's not debate whether you're black, your children are black, or your partner is black. You're all black right now. You going around, oh no, you're Mexican and black. No, for the sake of what's going on, you have to embrace this. When they see you, you're black. You're either a criminal or you don't belong here. And that's
And
not a
by the
good
way,
spot. That's not a good spot for you to be in.
Mexican isn't a race, Hassler. You're indigenous North American, and
So
you're
so how
you're
you
you're
describe Mexican? White, Indians, or blacks?
you're indigenous. You're indigenous North American. That's or mestizo is what they sometimes call it, but I don't even
Mestizos.
use it. I use indigenous because that's the original people that
You
were
know,
here.
mestizos is a Spanish word, right?
Yes, especially that's a colonizer
Now,
word.
now I'm going to move it back to Kabira because we're on a tight schedule, and then you, political novice, Kabira. Is there
Thank
something
you
you
very
want to
much for the
help?
information, man.
Huh?
I'm saying thank you very much to the doctor for the
Yeah, yeah.
information
This
that
is
you
why you
received.
should. This is why I know you come to these kind of lives because we're not playing around and we're giving you information. We're not trying to take advantage of you. You notice none of us have asked you for anything. You notice that, right?
You know something, real quick. I'm gonna say one more thing to Asler. Asler, we're trying to protect you, even though you're saying all these negative things.
That part.
So I mean, you need to accept the love where you're getting it, because that side doesn't love you at all whatsoever.
Thank you.
Well,
Thank
that's
you.
why they got two parties on the countries, right? Because you
So-
can think different than others. So that's
But
good
you're
for
you're
everybody.
not invited to that party.
Well, I don't need to be invited. I just see the gas price right now. I'm in love with the gas. Gas in Houston right now is about $2, so that's great.
I don't care about gas prices. I'm concerned with the
Aslo,
protection of us as a people.
what part of Houston you're at? Because I'm still paying. When before 47 took office, I paid $2.19.
Oh,
Right?
see,
$2.
thank you very much.
Hold
Yeah,
on,
see,
but
at
this
least
was
somebody said,
before 47 took office. This was before. You have to listen to learn and comprehend, not here to respond. You have to listen, right?
no, but at least
I'm
you're saying the truth, right? You
Yeah, I
said
get, but
219,
this
right?
was before you just said you're in love with the gas prices.
Yeah.
I just quoted gas prices before 47 took office. Are you're getting that part right?
No,
Before, and I'm in
no,
Houston with you. Before 47 took office, I paid $2.19.
that's not true.
That's
But
fair.
it's okay. This is your life.
So,
Fair.
Yeah, that's
she's
not true.
giving you
47 took
I'm
information.
not gonna,
office,
I mean,
I
I'm not gonna
started
be
paying
arguing a life right here.
She's
$2.89.
telling the
And
truth.
now gas prices have somewhat dropped to $2.69 or
Okay,
$2.79.
let me tell you this. Let me tell you this. Zeus gonna be my weakness now because I follow him.
What?
So why you gonna tell me when gas gonna hit 180
Wait,
cents?
wait a
Because that's gonna
second.
happen.
Before
What
we
you
get
gonna
into
say when
that,
they
wait.
hit
Before we get
180
into
cents?
that, I want to get to Kabira. All right, because we've all heard from everybody. But this is DEI training today once again. Hi, Kabira. How are you doing?
Hey, good morning. Good morning, Dr. Lex. Dr. Lex hit on something and I was going to speak on it. You know, when the Spanish ships came to South America, basically it boiled down to give us your gold, accept our religion, or unalive yourself and become our slaves and servants. Now, Mr. Aston, I was on a live the other day, and it was Republicans who had changed over to the Democratic Party, and I asked them what is a Republican thinking, because I can't understand their thinking, and basically all of them told me they were selfish.
Mm.
This is what I hear coming from you. You said my tax returns, I'm paying lower gas prices. See, it's more than just you. It's the betterment. It's what's good for people overall. And if you think America doesn't look at you as being black, my friend, see, I don't know about Venezuela,
I don't
but I
either.
know here in the United States,
They
if
got a
you
lot
have
of
one
racists in my
ounce of
country. A
black
lot of
blood,
racists in my country.
let me finish, my friend. If you have 1 ounce of black blood, you are considered black. End of subject.
W,
But
Kabira.
That's the thing you don't get it.
it
I'm proud to
doesn't,
be black.
wait a minute,
I love to be
Asla.
black.
Wait, hold on, Asla, hold on. It doesn't matter if your children are half Mexican, half Venezuelan, half European. If you have 1 ounce of black blood, you are black in this country. Which brings me to the next point. Now
Go
you say,
ahead.
oh, we're racist and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, they
Brother,
got a
do
lot of
you
racist
know
people
that
here.
they just scrubbed African Americans, Latinos, and women's accomplishments from Arlington National Cemetery website? So if you were to look up General Colin Powell, you wouldn't know that he was an African American. If you were to look up his first name was Jaime, he was one of the men who helped raise the flag on Iwo Jima. You wouldn't know that he was Native or Indigenous American. You see, now you may say, oh, that's racist. No. The reason why you need to know this, so your children will know that, hey, this can become me. Right? Joe
Real
Lewis is
quick,
in
U.S.
here.
U.S.
Joe
Army
Lewis
overlord.
I'm not finished. Joe Lewis was the brown bomber. Now, I suggest you look up Joe Lewis if you don't know who he is. You can just Google him. All right? So when you deny who you are and what you are and what these people are setting you up for, brother, you lost. And no, Q is not, as you call it, race baiting.
He's not.
He's telling you what's coming your way. Now, I consider you a twofer. And what do I mean by a twofer?
What is that?
You're walking down the street and they see a black man.
Mm.
So you open your mouth and they're calling ICE on you and they're getting you up out of here. So you're a twofer for them.
That's
So
not
they
gonna
may
happen.
even want to beat you before they put you in those cuffs and send you up out of here, send you to Venezuela
Yeah,
on
that's
that
not gonna happen though.
that they did those people.
Sure.
W Kabira in the chat. Welcome Union Gang, brother. And I see you out
What's
there
up, guys?
suited and
Hey,
booted.
you know we had to go hard on them, right?
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
While
So
my
you
man is sitting here still tap dancing for white supremacy, we was out here in these streets
Man,
in DC
you are a real
for the
military?
Veterans March.
Or you just
Like
have
I
to dress,
said.
you just dress up.
So once again, don't even talk no crazy stuff to me, man. What does
he's
it look
real
like?
military. He's really
Right?
he's
22
really served
years,
this
11 months,
country.
4 days.
Glasses.
You
Why
can
you
go
need
check
glasses,
that
bro? He's in
profile.
his
You can go
room
check
right
that
now.
profile. You can see you out there trending right now on
Why
damn
you need
Instagram.
glasses right now, sir?
Right? Set up. So once again, man,
Hassler.
how long have you been a buck dancer? Right? How long have you
Why
been a
you
buck
need-
dancer?
why you
Because it's
need glasses?
impossible to be
He's in a
pro-black and
room, man.
pro-Trump.
That's
That's
what
the
I'm
problem
talking
with
about,
these
racist
fools,
and
man.
stuff.
The problem with these guys sit here and talk all this stuff.
Hassler,
It's a certain
I'll come
type
back
of
to you.
Black. Right? It's a certain type of black that
Hey,
wants to
can
be
you
here
take those
looking for
glasses
Trump.
off, man?
Right? That's it. So once you take some of that buck dancing
Sir,
off,
can you take the glasses
and quit
off,
out here
please?
being a simp for white supremacy. How
Uh-oh,
about
Kabira,
that?
I had to
So
remove
why
you,
these
Kabira.
guys-
It said you were doing
why
something,
these guys
Kabira.
are
I
out
don't
here
know.
talking
Can you
that
take the
craziness?
glasses off, sir?
Right? Why these
Military?
guys out here talking
Take the
this
glasses.
craziness?
I
We've
muted
been out
him.
here marching and doing what we got to do.
Sorry, Kabira. I don't
Because
know what that was.
Why they trying to destroy Black Lives Matter Plaza in front of you and try to erase our accomplishments and got a whole drunk running the Department of Defense and got white supremacists out here destroying your country? You talking about gas prices. This is nothing wrong. That's why I say these guys right here, they can't save them. They can't save y'all, man. Period.
Yeah.
Now we've got to rally. We've got to rally and continue to get these vets out here and do what we got to do to save our democracy. Because you see right now, they got an unelected billionaire destroying, squad wiping agencies. There's a complete assault on the Veterans Administration right now. They are pulling all, services for trans soldiers. Are you kidding me? If you put this uniform on, you earned those benefits. You've earned those benefits with blood, sweat, and tears. And now they want to come back in here under this racist administration and try to take that from us. We're never going to allow it to happen. It doesn't matter if the media not going to watch it, man. We giving them holy hell out here in these streets. We're going to continue to do that. It's only going to get louder.
Thank you.
Hey, real quick, Zeus.
W Union Gang. What was that?
I'm gonna key you in on something. Real quick, that word frozen water. I don't think you can say that frozen water thing on here because that's what Kabira got me yesterday. The frozen water thing. But another thing, Rig, how you doing, my brother?
Oh, man. Hey,
Okay.
so people, they getting used to me,
sorry.
I guess, over on Instagram. I've been here for a while, though.
Thank
But I
you.
guess
I'm
now
about-
they starting to feel me.
Yes.
I'm about to drop a ton of bricks on Asler here.
Asler, are you there? Hit unmute real quick because I don't like it when you're just talking over people. This is
My bad, man. It's just this dude with glasses. He got me crazy.
Okay, so
here. I
Asler,
don't know
we
who
don't
he is.
I know,
Asler,
man. I know you
Asler,
can't match my accomplishment in 5 lifetimes. I know. I understand, bro.
That's the way you look all the time with glasses.
That's facts over your feelings.
Asler, we're not worried about his glasses, okay? Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something, Asler.
I worry about his glasses, man.
Okay, so I didn't want to do this. You did not participate. Your people did not participate in the civil rights movement with us. You are a beneficiary of the civil rights movement. You were in South America whenever we were going through Jim Crow and the civil rights movement, and going through all the violence in the street that was committed upon us. So
now,
you know what? No,
Asler, this, and then I'm going to check in with you when he's done because this is a very important part to bring up too.
Okay, so after even though your people went through slavery in South America, you guys apparently forgot that we were up here fighting the good fight, trying to get rights for people like you to be where you are now, for you to even say what you say, like Rig. Rig went out and risked his life to so you can get on here and spew the garbage that you spewing. Listen to you. You know what you are? You're lost, is what you are.
Hey, do I complain about your Trump tattoo in your upper thigh meat? No, I don't. I don't worry about that. The fact that you worship a man who's going to deport you before he accepts you. That's what they're going to do for you.
That's what you
then
do,
you will
because you
care
be
then
lying
when they
and
get your
it's still
people or they run from your people. Then you'll care then. Right? Then you're like, oh, I did not know he was going to do this to me. I did not know Trump was going to do this to me. Right? I did not know. I wanted to vote for Trump. Now he's sending my family away. Right? Then you'll care.
All
Now,
right, keep dreaming, my
now
buddy.
I gotta have a political novice. Are you there? I got a question. You
I'm
know how
here.
is he still worthy of prayer?
He still is. He still is. You want to know why? Because we don't dictate the deliverance and when it
Oh,
occurs, right?
okay.
But here's Asler. This is what I wanted to tell
Oh,
you,
shit.
right? He really still is. He really still is. You know, God said,
Okay.
"Love thy neighbor," and we'd be just as bad as MAGA if we, didn't love on him correctly, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
I mean,
Because Asler, you're blowing my mind this morning very early because I'm trying to figure out. You just said your daughter thought she was white. Let me tell you why your daughter thought she was white. Because she got that confirmation from home.
oh, oh,
No, no,
oh,
no, no. Hold
She
on,
got that
oh.
confirmation from home.
Exactly.
Why are
You
you
want
talking
to know
about?
why,
What
Asler?
It's
Hold
the
confirmation?
on, hold on, because I
anti-blackness.
have a baby. I have a baby too. She's high yellow. She could, depending on how she wears her hair, she could look like a white girl. She could look like a Hispanic, right? Depending on however she wears her hair. My baby has Caribbean Indian in her because that's where we're from, and
Mm-hmm.
Right,
she also has Native American in her because that's her part of her father's genealogy, right?
right.
But that's a deeper subject. You're not ready for that one as yet. But
Mm.
the confirmation that she received was she was white. Y'all align with white is right in your household, and that's why
Wow.
she thought that way, because she probably
Wow.
doesn't present as a brown baby, but she presents with long beautiful jet black hair, probably so, right? And if she has that long beautiful jet black hair, you want to know where that came from? The indigenous people. That
Oh.
jet black silky hair is indigenous, right?
Mm.
Right,
Can I
not
tell you
white, not
something?
European. Hold on, because I don't want you to think that I'm a racist because I'm not. But if we really go back in our bloodline, Asler, me and you would correlate a lot more than you and 47 will all with
100%.
any point in time be, right? Here's the
100%.
other thing, Asler. I want you to do a social experiment because you're always in Zeus's live and so am I. So I
I
want
follow
you
him.
today. Yeah, we follow him too. I want you to do a social experiment today so that we could dead all this racism stuff in the bud, right? I
Mm-hmm.
would like for you to change your profile picture to a profile picture of yourself, right? Then I'd want for you to go and join a MAGA live, right? Do not tell them who you voted for, right? Open your mouth, get on that panel and say hello and watch how they turn you every which way but loose. You
Mm.
want to know why? Because that is that's where racism resides. You want to know why? That's who has the racist ideology. You want to know why? Because irregardless of if you voted for him or not, you will never have a seat at that table. And if you play Wedding Crasher, they're going to deport you all the way back to Venezuela with the rest of the gang members that they just sent back.
All right.
You will never receive due process.
Let me tell
With
you
He'll leave
them,
you
something.
in
you will
shackles.
never
Let me tell you
receive
something.
acceptance with them. Hold on, Answer. You will never. And you want to
Never.
know why people are on you the way we are right now? Because Tiny Tank Top Tim ain't worth it. But you might
Oh.
be worth it because you stand with us. Your daughter stands with us. When we go to protect babies, we go to protect y'all too. Why do
Mm.
you think there's a whole 92% movement right now? Because our feelings are hurt. You wanna know why our feelings are hurt? Because we stand for everybody, not just us. And we've been fighting for everybody, not just us. And our ancestors lost their lives, lost their livelihood, lost their happiness, lost their pride, were broken, right?
Mm.
For everybody, not just us, including that long jet black hair baby that you have that thought she was white. Our female black ancestors fought for those rights for her. For your Hispanic wife, the same ones that them white tea people are trying to deport right now, because remember, Latinos were the first one on the chopping block, right? We stood for them, not just us. And you want to know why we're going this hard, Ansler? Because we will be God, God. Okay, you know what,
Yeah,
Ansler?
yeah.
I'm just gonna tell you this right now. You got on here and you said that you
I'll
are a
say it
Christian
for you.
man. You got on here and you said you were a Christian man, and you have spewed nothing but why is he wearing glasses? Why is he wearing glasses? You want to know why? Because the truth hurts and you have nothing else to fall back on other than he's wearing glasses. But now look at Dr. Lex. Dr. Lex has on glasses too. You didn't say nothing to Dr. Lex, right?
You just put it
Because
on
he's
right
not
now.
getting under your skin as US Army overlord right here.
Oh, Zeus too, right?
Look at Zeus. Zeus just put on his glasses. Y'all should be. You know what? I ain't got my glasses. They in my vehicle and it's raining right now. But it's okay. Asla, one day you will look in the mirror. You will accept who
Let
you
me
are. Because
Let me
I
tell
can
you something.
guarantee you, I want you to do the social experiment. Do not
I
lose
will.
sight of anything
I
else that I
will.
said. And
I will.
Asla, look, and if you don't believe me, you just got that notification that I'm following you because
Mm.
I'm going to track each and every live you get on. And if
I'm
you
gonna
get
follow
on
you
here
too.
and you say that
I'm gonna follow you too.
you participated in my social experiment, I'm gonna follow
Okay.
you, and you might get screen recorded, and I might send it to Zeus.
Mm.
No, it's all right.
Very
Okay.
might well do. Because
Okay.
if you get on there and just say hello, everybody, I can guarantee you the amount of racism you're going to experience, you will never get on Zeus's live and say that you're experiencing
And they will never
racism
accept
here
you.
or accuse anybody of racism here because they will tear you a new one. Okay?
Thank you.
Let
The
me tell you.
political
Let me tell you
novice.
something.
Now that's what you call a rap.
No, that was
Asler,
good. That was good.
what do you have to say? Because I
I wanna.
got to we got to stop the lie. Q Dog is not racist. What
Hey,
you are dealing with right now,
oh no.
this is probably something you needed a long time ago, a real conversation with
No, no.
black
I'm good.
folks.
I'm good.
But
Hey,
you can't just go around saying black folks, especially here, are racist when we trying to look out for you, brother. So what's up?
well, first, I want to say thank you to Miss Political because he came over before and she was talking about God. And I told you, I'm a Christian myself. My roots are from Adventist church, okay? So that being said, I know racist with nobody. So that's what I'm trying to say. It doesn't matter if I'm MAGA and you Democrat. I mean, you're not supposed to talk about like white people like they are black people, you know? I know where you're coming from, like the American history. I know I'm coming from different country, but right now everything is changing. Why we gonna still talking
Is
about
Trump a Christian?
slavery and stuff
Look,
like that? You know,
look,
that's
Answer
my
King.
whole
because
point.
nothing changed, and that's the
Is Trump
part
a
of the
Christian?
message that you. In fact, the only thing that did change, you're correct, everything is changing, is that
Yeah.
they are hiding their hate speech under the First Amendment. They are attacking people for peaceful protests. That is what they're doing. We're going back. That's what the change is. The change is going back. And ask them whether you want to admit it or not, baby. If we go back,
No, no,
you do
no.
too.
I mean, I
If
told
we
Amen.
you
go
guys.
back,
Amen.
your daughter
But
do too. If we
Amen.
go back,
didn't
your
the
wife do
Bible
too.
warn you against the Antichrist?
Sales
And
no,
y'all
sales
fools
no.
voted
I
for
went
him.
to Washington
Oh,
D.C. to be with these people, white people,
listen.
Hey,
Indian people,
Asler,
Chinese
Asler,
people.
I'm
I
gonna
went
Asler,
to
let hold
Washington,
Asler.
on. Listen,
everybody over there.
I gotta wrap it up, but listen. This is a great conversation. But Q Dog, I brought you back up here. Is there something you wanted to say to Asler before I wrap
Oh
this
my
up?
God,
Because I
man!
we shut it down. Q Dog is not racist. So
Who is 100%
First of
racist?
all,
I'm
hold
telling you
on,
right
hold
now.
on, hold on. Hear
hold on,
me out.
hurry up, hurry up. Zeus got
Asler,
to roll.
Asler, brother, hear me out and hear me good. The reason why I said what I said to you, if I didn't care, brother, I wouldn't say a darn thing about you or to you. You understand what I'm saying? I'm trying to dig deep inside you to get you to understand how our people are treated. You got two eyes, you got two ears. You understand what you see and what you hear on a day-to-day basis. I'm looking at a MSN post about what every day when I'm on here working while I'm here too, multitasking to get you to understand, brother. This ain't got nothing to do with being racial towards you. I'm trying to get you to understand that my grandmama, my great grandmama, went to Denny's and they told her, "In we don't serve your kind." I come from up north. I went to school down south. I didn't experience true racism until I came down south. Now we have southern hospitality or whatnot, but when you get to a point where you have this dude in office and these racist white T folks get so comfortable with calling you the N word with the hard R at the end. I'm trying to give you an understanding, not what I've seen, what I heard, but what I experienced.
WQ Dog.
Now
Thank
you
you.
are in a different part of the world that you grew up in. Now you're over here. You may not have experienced that like I did when I grew up in Cincinnati, Ohio. But you saw what happened in my city just a few weeks ago when the Nazis came in to my neighborhood where I went to my grandmama's house, where I went to church, where I grew up hanging out with my friends, and where my mama lived at,
Amen.
coming in to terrorize the neighborhood that they
Thank
knew
you.
nothing about. This is what's following Trump.
Wake
I'm
up.
trying to
All
get you to
criminals.
understand. We are all on this panel, brother, trying to get you to understand. We ain't talking about racism. The first thing that came out your mouth is racism. That's what I expect to hear from those racist Trump supporters. I expect nothing less. But you are a brother of color. I'm trying to get you to understand what they think about you.
Amen. All
If
right.
we didn't care about you, we wouldn't say nothing to you.
Now Zeus got to get up
You
out of
don't
here.
care
You my
about
brother
yourself.
too.
Zeus
You my
has to
brother
get.
too.
Day.
Okay, you my brother too. The only
All
thing
right.
is like we
But you
don't.
wouldn't be
I don't
here
see
every
people by
day if you
color.
did not
Hey,
care,
hey,
brother.
hey, hey. Well, you know what, ladies and gentlemen? What a great show. Ladies and gentlemen, please, let's give all the panelists that participated in this a huge round of applause before we go, because I got to get up out of here. This was a great conversation,
Thank you very
seriously.
much, everybody, man.
All right.
I don't got nothing against nobody. Like
Well,
I
you.
just
I
got
want
love
you.
for everybody. That's it.
I
Okay,
got one.
great.
I got one more thing to say
All
to you.
right, hurry up because I got to wrap it up.
I want you to take the advice of the political. This young lady right here, what she just said. And maybe that will open your eyes because, like I said, you come on here, you talk, yeah, I support Trump, this and that and the other. But go in as a disguise and
Yeah.
see how they actually treat you, man.
Yep.
I'm gonna check my profile.
All right. Well, listen, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. Unfortunately, Big Zeus has to get up out of here. What an incredible show, ladies and gentlemen. Listen, I love you all, but I honestly have to go. What another exciting and engaging show. Thank you, Union Gang, Dr. Lex, political novice, Q Dog. All right, I really do. And Kabira, I think you're okay, Kabira. It was just a warning. Hopefully, they didn't really get rid of your status on this app because we need you in the fight. I want to give all of you in the audience a huge round of applause, especially my subscribers, my gifters, and my moderators. All right, and the panelists, Lady Boss Monet. Seriously, you've been doing an outstanding job. But we also got to give one last round of booze and shame. This goes out to all the Zeus haters out there, ladies and gentlemen, and they know exactly who they are. They're an embarrassment to this great country of ours. No, nothing else needs to be said. Let's give them a huge round of booze and shame. I gotta get out of here. Yeah, get out of here. I'll be back on my main tomorrow. All right. And with that note, ladies and gentlemen, take care and stay safe out there in those TikTok streets. Don't do nothing I wouldn't do. We're out of here. What a great show. Connect the dots. We got out of here on time. Yes, they reported my main account, but I won the appeal, so I'll be back on my main account tomorrow, all right? I really do appreciate all of the love and support, all right? What a great show. Later, Hector, all right? Let's go, let's go. That part. Have a great day. We know what we do over here. People asking me, where do I go? I gotta go handle my business, all right? Because Zeus is a busy person. Alright, let's go. Alright, Curtis, you want some drill, baby drill, buddy? Alright, we're gonna do it real quickly, and then I'm up and away. There we go. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. Do some drill, baby drill. We're gonna do some drill, baby drill, ladies and gentlemen, and we're out of here.
will frack, and drill, baby, drill.
Let's do it. We're gonna be drilling so deep.
We're gonna be, for these guys, we're gonna drill, we're gonna take out so much money, we're gonna pay down our debts.
All right.
We're gonna lower your taxes to insane asylums.
You know they go crazy when I say.
The late great Hannibal Lecter.
Here we go.
Drill, baby, drill. We're gonna frack. Drill, drill. There's a frack.
Hey, and then all the stuff, and then hit him with it. Thank you so much. She said I like fracking very much. Look, they always go back to what they want. She can't help it.
She's a radical left.
She can't help it. And we're gonna end that. And we will frack. frack. Gotta be able to do it. Hey, hello. There you go. Hey, hello. There you go. So much money, we're gonna pay down our debt. We're gonna lower your taxes. The insane asylums, you know they go crazy when I say gonna frack, frack, frack. All right, hey. Yeah, and we got more DEI training for y'all out here. Y'all keep playing. Let's go. Here it goes.
Insane asylums. You know, they go crazy when I say the late, great Hannibal Lecter. They say, why would you mention Hannibal Lecter?
We're
going to pay down.
What are we going to do?
We're going to lower your taxes.
That part.
Deep insane asylums. You know, they go crazy when I say the late, great Hannibal.
Let's go, ladies and gentlemen. All right, I'm out of here. Take care and stay safe in those TikTok